I will rate the government on about 8 to 9 on a scale of 10. The only reason why I'm cutting marks is the way they handled the FI related issue on minimum alternate tax. Clearly, that was something which was avoidable. Bearing that, the government has taken steps in the right direction, and we believe the results of that will be reflected going forward. If I see on a fundamental basis, the current account deficit is better than last 1 year. The fiscal deficit is improved over last 1 year. Foreign exchange reserves have gone up over last 1 year. The industrial production growth has improved over last 1 year. Inflation has come down. GDP growth has gone up. So whichever economic parameters I look, clearly over last 1 year there has been improvement. And we believe this is partly driven by the oil price drop, but largely driven by the steps taken by the government to support the economy. And the benefit of that will be available over the next 4 years. And that's where we rank Modi government on a very, very high level. So how do we measure the pessimism? If we measure the pessimism in terms of redemptions, then yes, in the month of May as well as in the month of June, there has been redemptions by FI. But the scale of that redemption is not large enough that we can term it as pessimism. We have seen almost $2.5 billion plus deal of a pharma company getting subscribed in less than 24 hours. And this happened in the month of May. So how can we term that as a pessimism? If I look at domestic investors, they have brought in 10,000 crore plus in equity mutual funds in the month of May. Now can that be termed as a pessimism? So if we see the action of the investors, be it domestic investors, be it global investors, I don't think so that action is showing pessimism. Yes, there is pessimism in the minds of market analysts, there is pessimism in the minds of media, there is pessimism in terms of sentiment. And that's primarily driven by the fact that over the last 1 year, the Sensex have delivered just around 5% return. It's lower than fixed income. It's almost lower than savings bank account of Kotak Bank. Clearly that lower return has disheartened investors, traders, speculators. So it's the sentiment which are pessimism, not the actions. Now, to some extent, the drop in the market by about 12% from top is driven by certain fundamental factors. One, in the second half of FY15, corporate earnings have degrown. When we started FY15, the street was expecting 15% earnings growth. And we have actually ended FY15 at about 4% earnings growth. Obviously, the deceleration in earnings has to be reflected into the market, and which is why markets have corrected 12% from the top, and which is why there is pessimism in the minds of investors. Going forward, we believe earnings growth will recover, and that recovery in earnings growth will also dispel this pessimism. So we have seen that traditionally Indian investors have preferred government-sponsored institutions. Today, every single bank in the country, whether it's public sector owned by the government or whether it is private sector owned by private entrepreneurs or it is foreign bank, they all carry implicit guarantee of the government of India. This gives confidence to the investors that their money are in the safe. We have seen in the past one of the private sector bank as well as a couple of public sector banks which came under stress because of the NPA problems or other issues. But there was no exodus of deposit holders from those banks because everyone believed that government is standing behind it. If we see the law, the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation actually guarantees only about 100,000 rupee deposits. Despite that law, despite that stated proposition, investors believe that the government is firmly behind every single bank in the country, and that allows them to put their money, to park their money with the banking system. In mutual fund, there is no implicit support from anyone. We manage money in a most transparent manner. Our NAVs are calculated on a daily basis. So, unless until government can create a mechanism which allows us some sort of implicit support, I don't think so we can create a mass exodus in financial savings from government-sponsored institution to mutual fund. But is that the way to go? The answer is clearly no. Mutual funds will build their name on their transparency. In some sense, the current season of mutual fund began just around mid-90s. And 20 years is too less a time for giving experience to investors. It takes a generation to gain that confidence. Today there are more than 7 million plus SIP which are contributing to mutual funds every month. And we think this is just a trailer. We will garner more flows through SIP from investors. There will be word of mouth which will go and tell that like by investing in equity mutual funds I have outperformed fixed deposits by margins of multiple times. That along with the steps taken by regulator like SEBI, which gives confidence that even though there is no implicit support of the government, this industry is very well regulated, this industry follows transparent mechanism. A combination of investor experience, regulators, support, and our own effort in reaching out to investors will ensure that over a period of time we'll continue to grab market share in the financial savings of retail investors. Fortunately for me, Kotak Mutual Fund was a well-running ship. I didn't have to change many things. We had a very good equity performance, we had a very good fixed income performance, we had a very good dedicated sales team, operations team, and that ensured that Kotak became top 10 mutual fund house in the country. As managing director, my effort is to provide support to my team members and ensure that whatever good work they are doing, they just continue on a larger scale, they continue in a faster manner, they continue without facing any internal constraint. So my job is to provide them support, provide them vision for the scale and the size, and ensure that they battle in the market, not internally. So we don't measure success by size. If I see my group's motto, it's think investments, think Kotak. I'm part of a bank, and my bank has fairly large responsibility in terms of market cap, in terms of its reputation, in terms of its brand. So as a mutual fund, I have to ensure that I'm leveraging my mother brand and adding value to it. How do I do that? The only way I can do that is if I serve my customer appropriately, in true fairness. If I follow the ethics and the values of Kotak Group, not only in letter but also in spirit. Money management is not only about managing someone's money, it's also about managing someone's trust and confidence. And clearly at Kotak Mutual Fund, our job is to ensure that we manage our clients' trust and confidence more than we manage their money. How do I achieve clients' trust and confidence? I achieve that through communication, through right selling, by being available when they need me, by giving them reasonable performance on a risk-adjusted basis, by holding their hands when it is necessary, by providing them service on an operational basis which meets their expectations. So essentially I have to do everything right 24/7, 365 days a year, and ensure that my clients become rich, and ensure that I sell them right product, provide right services. So it's a game of managing people's trust and confidence, and trust and confidence comes through dealing. The Kotak brand opens the door, but then I have to deal in a manner whereby I can win my customers' trust and confidence. And my customers does not necessarily mean only investors, it also means distributors. As a fund house, it's difficult for us to reach to millions of our customers, and hence we have to engage with our distributors, our partners, who help us reaching out to their clients. And hence we have to ensure that on a daily basis, every day, we keep on taking steps which enhances their trust and confidence in us. It's not only about performance, it's also about managing expectations, behaving in a manner whereby people trust you. And we take pride in saying that we are managing money as well as the trust and confidence of our partners as well as their clients.